Reverend Mansfield Caseman, best known as Casey, serving as the Interfaith Community Liaison for Montgomery County. It's my pleasure to welcome one and all on this glorious morning in the name of the Faith Community Working Group. We exist to deepen our understanding and appreciation for all of our faith traditions. We also exist to amplify the various efforts toward justice throughout the faith community, as well as to bring together in a way that celebrates a unity born out of diversity. Overall, in a nutshell, our efforts are to make Montgomery County the most harmonious and the most by far welcoming county in America. This press conference was born out of a joint committee meeting of the Faith Community Working Group. During the last year, we've become increasingly aware of the increase of hate groups throughout America. Just 3 weeks ago, I was part of another press conference responding to the desecration of a synagogue not many miles from here. Today we gather responding to the anti-Muslim ads on the Metro buses, thus this location. We are here because we believe that the power of love is far greater than all forms of loveless power, and this certainly applies to hate. We are here believing in the words of Dag Hammarskjöld when he said, all that it takes for evil to prevail is for enough good people to do nothing. We are here, leaders of 9 distinct faith communities, members and friends of many faith communities throughout Montgomery County, standing together in love. To begin, we have a litany of hope and harmony that will be led by Imam Faisal Khan, co-chair of our Faith Community Advisory Council, the founder and beloved Imam of the Islamic Society of Greater Washington, someone who is highly revered throughout our region and indeed the country because of his spiritual guidance and his leadership in interfaith relations for many decades. He will open our responsive reading. All that's printed in bold we ask everyone to participate in, and following his lead, other clergy whose names and titles are printed for you will be leading us in this litany. Faisal.
I greet you all with a universal salutation of a Muslim by saying Assalamu alaikum, may the peace and blessings of God be upon you. Almighty Allah, the God of Abraham and Moses and Jesus and Muhammad on whom peace, the supreme ruler of the universe, we believe in thee and glorify thee and seek his aid in all affairs of our life. As a representative of the broad religious community in this region, I am deeply saddened by the recent display of ignorance and bigotry against Muslims and Islam on Metro buses. I am very disturbed that on the aberrations of some who try to distort the meaning and undermine the contribution of Islam to so many in our society. I deplore the association of religion with hatred because we share a prophetic vision of a just and merciful world, where each life is infinity precious and where justice and tolerance is the foundation for true peace and understanding. Today, as with our ancestors in faith, we are asked to choose education over ignorance, good over evil, blessings over curse. Our prayers must go beyond calling for God's love to enter the hearts of others. Religious prejudice courses not only through bigots and hatred, it flows through each one of us when we stand silent in the face of inequitable treatment of persons of different faith, or do not respond to incidents of hate violence against them. Religious prejudice flows through each one of us when the faith tradition of another human being colors our judgment about his or her humanity, character, intelligence, or competence. In an era when possibilities abound for creating genuine human community, the challenges to doing so have never been greater. We come together because our love for God and humanity inspires it. Our concern for justice and understanding demands it, and our common challenges require it. Only by working together as brothers and sisters with all persons of faith and goodwill can we realize a community of life, dignity, and peace. And now for the litany. In a time when the forces of division and hatred abound, we as faith communities have dared to come together. We come together
We have begun to listen together to the Spirit within our varied and venerable traditions.
Despite our differences, share many principles, beginning with the conviction made in the image of the divine and the equality and dignity of all human beings. We sense the sacredness of the individual person and each one's conscience. We appreciate unity transcending our individual differences and we commit ourselves to
caring for one another. We celebrate the richness of the diversity of Montgomery County, where 1/3 of us are immigrants, where minorities are the majority, and where over 143 languages are spoken in Montgomery County public schools and 170 in Montgomery College.
We are working toward harmonious vision of the beloved community, where basic human needs are all met, where we enjoy fruits of justice and freedom for all.
We recommit ourselves to being more sensitive to the needs and aspirations of our neighbors.
We aim to be more present and responsive to all the suffering needs of our readiness of communication.
We bind ourselves together to draw encouragement from our companions, to offer prayers, to sing and dream dreams.
We stand united as one people, thanks to the power of divine love that is far greater than the forces of division and hatred. Shalom, salam,
Our statement responding to the anti-Muslim ads on Metro buses will be led by Gongpo Yesi. Gongpo has been a founding member of the Clergy Response Committee. He's been an active member of that team, responding as they are on call 24/7 to any act of hate or violence in the county. He also was the chair of the second or third committee responsible for coming up with our statement of common purpose that is the basis of this statement. So it's so appropriate that we have our distinguished and good friend Gongpo here to lead us in this statement.
Thank you, Casey. So, good morning. I don't do much public speaking, so I'm a Buddhist monk with Kunzan Payo Choling, which is a community in Poolsville, Maryland, under the direction of Jetsa Mahatma. 26 years ago, the Buddha taught that in our true nature, we are exactly the same, and that we have the same motivation, and that is to be happy, or to be without sorrow. He also taught that we probably do not know our true nature. Instead, we would take fragments of our experience, fragments of culture, race, gender, etc., and cobble them into an identity, replacing concern for one's true nature. So the problem in this, the inherent problem, is this misunderstanding of who we are. and being motivated by a desire to find happiness or to live without sorrow, we can make some pretty bad decisions. So that's why we're gathered here today. And I'm certain that those of us gathered here have the life experience to know that one cannot achieve happiness at the expense of others. And that we cannot separate the sorrow that others experience from the sorrow that we would try to avoid. The Buddhists do not have a corner on this wisdom. All the traditions, the great wisdom traditions across religions, seem to hold this truth. In our nature, we're the same. Compassion. But we're not familiar enough with this nature for it to guide all of our decisions, or when responding to conflict and difference. Our clergy response group holds a different vision, an alternative vision for addressing differences, conflicts, and confusion. Its vision is rooted in compassion and the universal instruction to love one another. As the Holiness Dalai Lama has taught, be kind whenever possible. It is always possible. So we state clearly that harsh and hateful speech does not serve the purpose of resolving conflicts, bridging differences, or finding happiness. In fact, it creates conditions for more strife, more conflict, and more sorrow. So we offer the statement of common purpose as an antidote to harmful and misguided acts, and as an invitation to engage instead in acts of loving kindness. So we'll begin reading. I'll start this reading the statement, and then other colleagues will come up. The Faith Community Working Group, which unites Baha'i, Buddhist, Hindu, Islamic, Jewish, Protestant, Roman Catholic, Sikh, Unitarian Universalist, and Zoroastrian faith communities in Montgomery County, is deeply saddened by the placement of anti-Muslim ads on buses owned and operated by the Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority.
We stand united, united in divine love, united against all misinterpretations of the Quran and of all scripture, especially those misinterpretations that divide and misguide public sentiment toward prejudice and hatred. We seek to understand the Quran and all sacred works for the enlightenment they offer.
At a time when we are increasingly divided by politics, economic, and social disparities, it is especially important to increase interfaith understanding, promote civility, and advance appreciation for our pluralistic county. O Allah, our Lord, your peace and peace comes from you. Blessed are you, O honor of majesty and honor.
Towards this end, the Faith Community Working Group invites like-minded individuals to join us in the following points that are part of the Clergy Response Committee's Statement of Purpose.
We seek to emphasize the areas that we have in common while working to end all forms of violence and hatred.
We seek to uphold others through constructive and positive use of language in our speech and in our literature.
We seek to bear witness to the harmful effect of hate speech, and we seek to help others understand its impact on individuals, groups, and civic life.
We seek to witness to and demonstrate through our actions a respectful approach for engaging others while endeavoring to resolve conflicts between individual groups and communities.
We seek to prepare ourselves to respond peacefully should any of our faith traditions or individuals of any tradition be victims of hate, speech, or acts of such. We affirm our solidarity with all faith traditions in upholding a diverse expression of religious values and seek to create the social space for a free expression of diverse religious practices in Montgomery County.
We seek to provide reconciliation with a perpetrator of violence when possible.
An important part of my role as the Interfaith Community Liaison is encouraging interfaith dialogue that is existing within many different groups that are emerging now in Montgomery County. One of the oldest and I'd say most effective is the Jewish-Islamic Dialogue Society. And because we more than overlap in terms of our participation with these different groups, it seemed most appropriate and they wanted to be here lending their support to our statement and gathering. So here is Ira Weiss here to speak on their behalf.
We Americans have made a lot of progress in the way we deal with the other. Our generation has witnessed the mainstream open its doors to differently abled people, choose people of color to be icons of beauty, elect an African American president, and embrace LGBT communities in a way that was unthinkable in previous generations. We should be proud of that progress, but we must not also become complacent. Events out of our control can reverse that progress very quickly. German society in the 1920s was arguably the most welcoming society in all of Europe for Jews. 2 decades later, it embraced the Holocaust. Continuing violence in the Middle East and the aftermath of the 9/11 attack on America have inflamed anti-Jewish discourse among Muslims and anti-Muslim discourse among Jews. The anti-Muslim ad, now on some metro buses, is one reflection of that sad development. A few years ago, some Muslims and Jews in the Washington, D.C. area took notice of the problem and responded by establishing JIDS, the Jewish Islamic Dialogue Society of Washington. JIDS is a vibrant local organization where Jews, Muslims, and people of several other faiths get together to learn more about one another and to engage in dialogue and communion. We usually meet in a synagogue or a mosque on the third Sunday of every month. Jews and Muslims in the Washington metro area have also joined the national effort of the Foundation for Ethnic Understanding to fight anti-Jewish and anti-Muslim rhetoric. We have a new local affiliate called the Greater Washington Muslim Jewish Forum, which is currently countering the anti-Islamic ads on the buses with an online campaign that encourages people to spread hummus, not hate. The Jewish Islamic Dialogue Society and the Greater Washington Muslim Jewish Forum are proud to join the Montgomery County Interfaith Coalition in this effort to counter hate with love. Anyone who wants to learn more about JIDS or the Muslim Jewish Forum can find us on the web. Thank you all for coming and have a great day.
A fundamental principle in my work is collaboration. And I'm very privileged to have as a colleague and friend Jim Stowe, who's director of the Commission on Human Rights. We meet on a regular basis. In fact, I serve representing the county executive on his committee on hate violence. Jim was part of our meeting from which this gathering was called. And he is here to speak in support of what we're doing today and to speak of the partnership we have together with the Human Rights Commission.
morning, everyone. As Mr. Caseman has said, my name is Jim Stoll. I'm Director of the Office of Human Rights. And I'm asking also those who are involved with our work with the Committee on Hate Violence to come forward as well. I think I saw Ruth. Ruth, are you here? Did I see her somewhere? Okay, maybe I didn't see her. Let me just say, we're so very proud of our community and all that is occurring here this morning. You see, we live in a great city. We live in a great county. We live in great towns and villages that make up Montgomery County. And the evidence today is a solidarity that makes us a very special county that we are. And so I'm very proud to be a part of it, a very small part of it. And today you see the marvelous picture here of the great diversity that makes Montgomery County what it is today. And my friends, as I begin to sort of think about today, I was just reminded that there ought to be a way where we can come together with our common and unique life experiences to make this county open and inclusive for all. There ought to be a way to remember the obstacles and barriers that have restricted and impeded many of us from achieving our collective human potential. And my friends, there ought to be a way that we become the best county in America to live and to believe and to think and to act and to be a part of those things that you choose to be a part of. And all because I believe the Montgomery County way, there ought to be a way for which we have differences that come up. Anytime we have a difference of opinion and those things that sometimes divide us, there ought to be a way we come together and simply work it out and find ways to move beyond that obstacle, to move beyond that barrier, and reunite ourselves again on the common good of Montgomery County. So we're here today in fellowship and support and in partnership of the Montgomery County way of handling difficulties and circumstances that come before us each and every day. Thank you very much, and glad to be a part of this.
Jim, I'm a little surprised you weren't getting in a pitch for our friendship picnic. One of the things we can look forward to on September the 14th is coming together. We co-sponsor this with the Human Rights Commission. It's the time to develop our trust with each other. All right. Audrey Bayless is a interfaith bridge builder par excellence, and she is here briefly speak on behalf of the Adams Center. While we're meeting here today focusing on Montgomery County, we know that we have friends even across the river in Virginia. So please.
In the name of the one who loves us all, and I'm speaking on behalf of the Adams Center, the All Dulles Area Muslim Society. The All Dulles Area Muslim Society Adams Center is very saddened by the placement of these ads that make false assertions in the Quran. Adams fully supports freedom of expression, but we believe in responsible speech. Such inflammatory and false insinuations and misplaced generalizations have no place in facilitating responsible dialogue or in promoting civil society. On May 28, 2013, imams and leaders from a number of Muslim-majority countries condemned anti-Semitism and Holocaust denial in a statement issued following their visit to Auschwitz. Led by Rabbi Jack Bemparad of the Center for Interreligious Understanding, imams and leaders from America, including Imam Majid from the Adams Center, Saudi Arabia, Bosnia, India, Indonesia, Jordan, Nigeria, Palestine, and Turkey, met survivors and those who tried to save Jews. In Islam, the destruction of one innocent life is like the destruction of the whole of humanity, and the saving of one life is like the saving of the whole of humanity. This is in the Holy Quran, Al-Ma'idah, the table spread, 532. While entire communities perished by the millions, we know that Muslims from Bosnia, Turkey, Tunisia, Morocco, and Albania saved many Jews from brutal repression. We ask that people learn that Muslims condemn anti-Semitism. We ask that people learn about Muslims who helped to save the Jewish people from Nazis. We ask that people learn that the Quran teaches respect for all faiths, including the Jewish faith. This is from the Holy Quran 2:62. For those who have true faith and those who follow the scriptures of the children of Israel and the followers of Jesus and Sabians, whoever believes in God and the last day and does good deeds, they will have their reward with their Lord. They will fear not, nor shall they grieve. In table spread 548, it says, each of you has your own holy books. Had God wanted, he would have created you one community, but he did not to test you. So vie then to live with one another and do good works. So, in response to these ads, we ask people to do good deeds together by learning about one another and engaging in interfaith dialogue and community service. We encourage everyone to attend this year the 9/11 Unity Walk on September 21st, where all come together to get to know one another. You can find out more about it by looking at 911unitywalk.org. We do this, we come together to learn about one another so that we can learn to care about one another and learn to love one another. Thank you.